You have to stay wait a second. Okay, that's better. Right, accountability or being accountable basically just means that you are staying consistent. So it means that you're doing the things you're supposed to do. So if you say, I'm going to go to the gym Monday, Wednesday and Friday, it basically just means you actually go, but you're holding yourself accountable. You're checking in with yourself to make sure that you stick to your promise. You know what your goal is, and are you doing everything that you possibly can to get there? You need to be honest with yourself and ask yourself that question. Am I doing absolutely everything I can to get to that end goal, whatever that might be? I can bet that most of you probably are not, and that might not be your fault, it might be somewhat your fault, but by the end of this video I can assure you it will not be a problem for you. The people who I want to watch this video are the people that are actually going to do something. So all of the information in this video is very important, including the information right at the end of the video. There's 3 main points I make right at the end of the video, which for me are the most powerful, the most important. If you're somebody that's not that interested, just click away and go and watch some funny reindeer video or something like that. You might want to consider subscribing to this YouTube channel to get help on how to build your dream physique. If you don't hold yourself accountable, the problem with that is you lose total self-respect for yourself, you don't trust yourself, you have no self-confidence, and you don't believe in yourself. Because if you say, I'm going to go to the gym Monday, Wednesday and Friday, that's what I'm doing, and you only turn up Monday and Friday and you didn't go Wednesday because it was raining or you didn't feel like it or whatever the excuse was, you're then in a situation where you don't trust yourself, because you can lie to people, you can tell people that you go to the gym 3 days a week, and I used to do this all the time. That's why I'm telling it to you. When I was 16 years old, I went to the gym for the first time. I would tell people I go to the gym 3 days per week, but the reality was I was only going maybe 2 days per week because it would
access denied,
I wouldn't feel like it, or I couldn't get there, or I made the excuse that I didn't have any transportation to get there. The problem is here, you can lie to everybody else. Everybody else might believe you, but deep down you know what you're saying isn't true. It's not just the results side of things that's very important for accountability, but it's self-respect, it's self-confidence, it's self-esteem. All of those things are not going to be built if you can't follow through on the things you say you're going to do. Another one of the big things I used to do, and I'm sure again a lot of you do it or have before, and that is you might mess up on your nutrition on Wednesday, or you might mess up on Thursday or Friday, or you might not go to the gym on one of the days that you said you was going to go, that your plan says you're going to go to the gym. And so what you do is you say, okay, I'll start Monday. Have you ever heard that before? This was absolutely my favourite thing to say, okay, I'll start on Monday. And I want to just tell you quickly, if you fall off the wagon, if you make a mistake, that's absolutely fine. But you can't wait till Monday. You get back on it either the same day or the next day. And if this keeps happening to where you can't stick to your nutrition plan, it simply means that your plan is too restrictive and you need to implement some foods that you enjoy with also foods that are healthy as well. But before we get into the real big idea that I have for you in this video, I want to say, if you make a mistake, if you don't go to the gym for any excuse you've made, if you don't follow your plan exactly how it should be followed, I want you to know that it's okay to make some mistakes. I think a lot of you think all people on YouTube are totally perfect, that we never have a bad day, that we never eat something that we shouldn't eat, and that's simply not true. We all make mistakes, it's okay to make them. The point is you want to be on point for 99% of the time. That 1% of the time you might make a mistake, you might go out and not stick to your plan. It's about being consistent over time and doing the right thing almost all of the time. What I've noticed is most of you actually know what to do. Most of you know what you need to do in the gym. Most of you know how to eat and how to structure your nutrition plan. Most of you already know those things. You just make excuses or procrastinate or say you'll do it later or put it off another day. And that's the habit I'm trying to stop you from doing in this video. The biggest advice I can give to you on that is you have to be real with who you are and what mistakes you've made, and the simple truth is if you can't do that, you won't be able to make a change. In the beginning stages, I also want to give you permission to give yourself credit. So if you actually spend the whole week eating really healthy, hitting everything you need to hit, going to the gym, doing all of the things that you need to do, then give yourself credit at the end of the week. You should be proud of what you've done. You will regret eating cookies the next morning, you will regret having 10 beers the next morning, but you will never ever regret having a brilliant workout. You will never go to the gym, have a workout, come home, and regret that. That will never happen. You will never regret eating healthy food. And so when you do the right things, I want you to give yourself credit at the end of the week. Probably the biggest thing that helped me personally, and there's so many things in this video you can take from it, but for me, the thing that helped me the most was when I was 16 and I was really struggling to be consistent and hold myself accountable because I'd never had to do that before. I'd never set other goals in my life before that. I invented a method, or at least I think it was me that invented it. I just called it the trigger method. And that is, every time I set my goal, let's say it's okay, I need to go to the gym 3 days per week. So Monday would come around, I wouldn't feel like doing it. That was my trigger. And I listed out on paper my main excuses. The second it was raining, didn't feel like it, tired, didn't have a car to drive to the gym, all of these different excuses, and they're all excuses, that was my trigger. So I programmed my brain over months and months that every time it rained, every time it did any of those things, that's my trigger to actually go to the gym. So when those problems showed up, my brain was like, okay, problem, right, we go to the gym. And I programmed my mind to just do that, to where it just did not matter whatever the circumstances was. As soon as I made that commitment, I was going to the gym and there was nothing that was going to stop me from going. As more advanced lifters, that seems almost stupid now because it's just programmed in your brain that you go to the gym just like you brush your teeth in the morning. But when you're starting out and you're a beginner, those small things do mean a lot to people. Well done if you've stuck around to this point of the video, because it's clear to me that you're committed and really want to accomplish your goals. Like I promised, this is the main point of the video right here, and I'm going to give you some tools to actually stay accountable. So use other people to hold you accountable. When you're starting out or you have trouble with your nutrition or just going to the gym, what I want you to do is grab a family member, grab a group of friends, and you need to be smart because don't just go up to your parents and tell them, because they will always forgive you for the mistakes that you make. Go to somebody that will probably give you a hard time if you don't do it. That's the most important thing. Go up to them and tell them exactly what you're going to do. Tell them you're going to go to the gym 3 days per week. Tell them your goals. Tell them what you're going to accomplish by what time. And then tell them you want them to hold you accountable. That you want them to tell other people. You want them to come to you and see what progress you're making and give you a hard time if you're not doing it. Another brilliant thing, which for me is absolutely the best thing you can do, is financial risk. So go up to somebody, and not your parents because they won't take the money off you, maybe someone at school, maybe someone at work. Tell them what you're going to do. Tell them maybe you're going to go to the gym 3 days per week for 3 months and you're really struggling with that. So say to them, right, if I don't do that, I'm going to give you £100 or $100 or whatever. That's what I'm going to give you. And tell everybody at school, tell everybody at work, and commit to it. So you've made that promise, and that's what you have to do. So if you don't go to the gym 3 days per week for the next 3 months, you have to give that person that money. And everybody's going to know about it, so you have to keep yourself accountable. Maybe if you're 14 or you're quite young and you're just getting into weight training, you can even say to your parents, okay, if I don't accomplish this by this time, take my phone off me. Don't give me my phone back. There's so many ways you can go with this, but you have to be creative and make sure you structure it correctly. My biggest number one tip that I can give you is commit. When you commit to something, and you need to hear this, there's a big difference between trying or thinking about doing or maybe and committing. There's a massive difference there. So you have to make an actual commitment to what you're going to do. Keeping with the common theme of 3 workouts per week, let's say you was going to go Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Well, you can't go at 1 p.m. because you'll be watching my videos when they premiere, but let's allow time for that. Maybe you go at 2 p.m. You're committing to that. When you commit to something, it basically just means it doesn't matter what happens, you are going to go to the gym. And every single time you don't go to the gym, 9 times out of 10, it's an excuse. The only way it's not an excuse is if you're ill, and properly ill, and you think your results would be diminished by going to the gym ill, or maybe if you have a personal issue or family issue that really can't wait. Those things are okay. When you commit to something, it means there's no going back. You've made the decision, and in your mind it's impossible to not go. Once you've said I'm going to go to the gym 3 days per week, it's impossible to then say, well actually I'm not today because it's raining or I'm tired or whatever the reason is.